Hello, my dear LT6, Tim, Pam, Karthik, Levy. We gave our shout out to Zar also.
Hi,
Just to be
Zar.
Zar, we'll make one with you right after this. Okay. So good evening, good morning, good afternoon to our audience. This we are learning team 6. We are currently students of an executive MBA program in Asian Institute of Management. We're doing this podcast to is actually a part of our requirement for one of our courses. But who knows? This could be a start of something big, no, something more regular. Um, in our school, we are divided into learning teams, and these are learning teams that we have for our duration of the course. So for the better part of the last 2 years, we are together on all of our subjects, most of our subjects. Some are not, right? But for like 90% of our subjects here in AIM, we work together. And this particular learning team, I will say, is special because we meet on a regular basis, even if we don't need to. Right? Kind of clingy there. So we have a healthy mix of people in this podcast and a wide range of expertise. So we are doing this first video for a subject called innovation, right? Strategic innovation. And today we talk about innovation in our companies, right? So I start with myself, just an introduction of myself. I'm a TG pharmacist. I've been working in the IT industry, actually for the same company for 19 years this year.
Wow.
Yeah. So time flies, no? And I was sent back to school by my company. What do you think about that? So yeah, so I was an engineer, a service engineer, brand management, and now I'm managing a group in our company. So yeah, I'd like to see how I can share my experience and knowledge with you guys as well. Okay, so anybody
I'm
like to?
next. So I'm Timothy Bukal. I am also in the technology industry. 9 years already in the technology industry, but more on the enterprise IT services space. Especially given the pandemic now, there's a lot of need in terms of technology. Perhaps these are some of the things that we'll touch during this discussion tonight.
All right, Tim. Thank you. The lady in the room.
Hi,
Mm-hmm.
Pam. So I'm an architect. Yeah, I'm an architect and a lead accredited professional. And I've been in the real estate industry for several decades already. I'm currently with Philinvest Hospitality Corporation, and I'm the AVP for project development.
Yeah, Pam is our resident millennial in this group.
Millennial.
You just follow her in our Instagram
Subscribe.
and her YouTube if you are not already. Yeah.
These are social media tita.
All right. Myself, Karthik Raiswamy. Uh, I'm from pharmaceutical industry. I have more than 19 years experience in pharmaceutical industry. I work for an Indian company called Sun Pharmaceuticals. I'm working here in Philippines as a country manager. I'm here in Philippines from 2015, so nearly 5 years. I'm in Philippines, heading the business of Sun Pharma in Philippines. So it's a great opportunity for me to do this discussion and share my experience and get more learning from you all. Thanks, DJ, for this.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yung Chen, so you can call me Levy. So I'm a marketing person. So I'm working in the multi-level marketing industry since 2003. So as of now, that is roughly around 17 years. So 5 years ago, I was transferred to the Philippine market, work as a general manager of FKC International Philippines. So I have been work with a couple of countries in South Asia countries. So I work in the different cities, met different kind of groups. So try to feel the local cultures. So I'm enjoying the time when I'm working in the FKC Philippines here. Thank you, everyone.
All right, thank you guys. All right, so just let's probably jump right into it now. So in this podcast, we'll be guided by 6 questions on innovation, and we'll attempt to apply what we have learned not only in strategic innovation subject but all our subjects as well in AIM, and all of our experience, ongoing experience in work and in our experience in the dealing with our clients. So
And to add to that, TG, like the intent of this like podcast that we have tonight is because everyone knows we're going under a lot of change, especially because of the COVID pandemic. So what we're trying to understand is, given the context of our different backgrounds and the different businesses that we handle, how are we supposed to undergo change, as well as how do we enable that change within the organization as well as within ourselves. So those are the things that we intend to tackle for tonight.
right, thank you, Tim. So okay, we'll go to the first question right away. I will ask Kartik for this one. No? So in the pharmaceutical industry, where is it going now? How is it performing? I think this is a very relevant question, especially for the next few months. No? And where is it heading?
All right. Thanks, TJ. As you know, pharmaceutical industries comes under goods. So really, what we see as an industry during this pandemic time, not much impacted. I would say it has shown positive growth, and it has shown improvement compared. Maybe in the first quarters, we got some impact due to certain lockdowns, but eventually we see positive this year as a pharmaceutical industry and healthcare. And as you know, this pandemic has put all the governments and everybody is behind and kneel down due to this pandemic effect. So we see healthcare industry will get more boost in terms of more fundings will come from government in putting up infrastructure, start from testing centers to hospitals and treatments. And we see also a lot of budgets coming in for improving the healthcare system. So we see the industry is heading towards more awareness towards healthcare. It's not only the government. We see that even the general population is also becoming more health conscious. Now, the importance for the health is being improved compared to before. So we see that is positive and heading towards the north, and it's good for us. And just a recent topic, as you talked about vaccines. Yes, I think pharmaceutical industry is working very hard to bring that vaccine as early as possible to the people. So that's going to happen, as I foresee. Maybe next 6 months, it should be practically available. And there are some challenges we will face, maybe in terms of access to the medicines would be the challenge. I see more positive coming years for our industry.
So, Karthik, I can imagine that in the front lines of the pharmaceutical companies, it's very intense, is it?
You mean meeting customers?
Meeting customers,
Yes, it is. It is because, as you know, during pandemic, our doctors are very busy with managing the pandemic, and the paramedicals and hospitals are overloaded and overstrained. So we need to come out with some more innovative ideas, our promotional or the way we want to manage this. We need to bring more innovation in this area, change the uh, to manage this change. Yes, and it's very intensely changed. So we need to adapt to this new change.
All right. So going back to a question of the vaccines, a lot of talk has been going around on the distribution challenges. What do you think,
Yes.
particularly to the Philippines? What would that be?
Uh, In my opinion, Philippines distribution is going to be challenged because Philippines as a country itself in a normal distribution day is pretty challenging. Because of its the geographical way the country is spread across. And what we hear is the vaccines are going to be like 2 to 8 degrees, and it's going to be more cold chain product. So it's going to be really, really important to maintain that uh, infrastructure across different throughout till the last level is going to be very challenging because it cannot be done by a pharmaceutical company alone. We really need government interference, and we need more people coming in, different stakeholders. It can be NGO, it can be Red Cross, different institutions to come together, partnership with pharmaceutical company to get this availability done. So it's going to be the most challenging uh, in distributing the vaccine.
Right. Yeah, I
So
agree. So maybe I think from a technology perspective, Kartik, no? So what we're doing in our company is on AI in terms of app development and contact tracing, things like that. Something similar to what Google is trying to do, what Apple is trying to do. Their technologies available to identify areas where we can use technology such that to prevent the further spread. And the challenges that we're also looking at or experiencing is that it's difficult to organize different stakeholders because they're doing each their same stuff.
Right. I
So
can relate to that.
and yeah, so and now it's very difficult to, and from our organizational future, that's where we look. We have to find ways that these organizations converge.
Correct. And that,
Such
that
that
that context was even pre-pandemic. Now that everybody's trying to rush into I think most would try to rush into like technology to enable. That
through
puts a little more challenge and pressure in terms of how do we move forward into the future of our industries.
that's very
yeah,
good.
totally
But
agree.
yeah, from healthcare, maybe now I'd like to switch to hospitality, one of the hardest hit, famously, for of the COVID. So we have our resident expert here.
Tita Pam in her vacation house.
Yeah, buti ka pa.
Well, okay. So as everyone knows, di ba naman, that without travelers, hotel and airline companies reduce or stop their operations or force their operations indefinitely. So which affected millions of workers, not just in the Philippines, but worldwide. Well, in the Philippines, we started the community quarantine lockdown last March 20. And to date, good news, some of the provinces outside of Metro Manila downgraded their community quarantine lockdown to a general quarantine status. So with that, it loosened protocols and establishments are slowly allowed to open again. So we are very thankful for this one. But you know what? We are now living in the time of intense disruption, and there's no existing health protocols to face these challenges. So no one has ever foreseen this type of
Hmm.
situation, or
Very true.
this no one has seen this or experienced this, and we are trying to be as flexible as possible in addressing the different needs of our employees, partners, and stakeholders. So the hospitality industry is at the critical stage, and the recovery period might take a year or 2 or 3. At the moment, we still don't have a clear foresight of where it is heading. So we're still having difficulty, and it puts pressure on our financials already.
Pero Pam, even with the current challenges, no, but I hear you talking about investing. You're purchasing
Yeah.
property. You're still proceeding. How is this the move of your company? Yeah? Is it a positive outlook later on, or it's just you want to proceed with what you're doing?
Yeah, because we're still bullish. Most of our projects naman are still ongoing. Kasi we foresee naman this has an end, and when this ends, hopefully in a year or 2, we're ready to open, or our buildings are in place already. So that's why we are still proceeding with our projects, continuing with our pipelines. Actually, we did not slow down because
I also heard that, sorry, I also heard that you did some big survey in terms of like what's this, the outlook of consumers in terms of like going into hotels to resorts. Can you tell us more about
yes.
that?
Yes, yeah. We did a survey last March. This is in coordination with the Department of Tourism, because we really wanted to know the confidence of the domestic travelers. Like, when are they, or are people willing to travel even without vaccine? So with that survey, it turns out that uh, most of the people who will travel within 6 months after the lockdown has been lifted are mostly millennials. So I think right
Millennials like
now,
us,
yeah, we are the target
like us, Tita
market
Pam.
now.
Yeah.
We are the target market. And then people, and also, I think Prof. Poch also said that, the hospitality industry in the Philippines, or we should target local travelers instead of foreign travelers, because now people really wanted to, now that everything is opening, most of the most of the provinces are open now. People wanted to go out, and I heard nga in Palawan, most one of the properties in Palawan, they are fully booked already until
Wow.
until next year. So even with the pandemic,
Ito
so
pala yung
it's
family question.
slowly recovering, but really not, because you are only allowed 50% occupancy, right? But the future is looking bright, because people still wanted to go out.
Like for example, your property in Boracay, you have a Crimson in Boracay. Diba? Is it configured to be catering to foreigners rather than locals, or do you have to reconfigure it to? I mean, from whatever design, payment schemes, and things like payment.
Right now, because
I can
Boracay is
imagine.
already sorry, Tim?
No, go ahead.
In
Go
terms
ahead.
of in terms of design, are you referring to design or the target
Yeah, things
market?
like that. Because you said you're changing the business model such that you attract locals rather than foreigners. No? So, like an example is Boracay is mainly foreigners. The prices are for foreigners of the top hotels. The
Yeah.
payment modes that they have, it's credit cards and maybe Alipay or
Yeah.
things like that, right? So they have to reconfigure that to cater to locals.
Yeah, we're now reconfiguring most of our prices. I think the industry, the hotel industry, is already um, looking at their price offerings, and more packages, more discounts to attract local travelers.
Yeah. Pam, going back to the survey, I kind of went through it. Like the consumers, not just millennials like me, like everyone is um looks at the way that they go to a hotel differently. Like for example, they're more cautious of like human interaction. They're more cautious of like knowing before they get there what actually will happen, what's part of the like the amenities and all. Uh, I would imagine that from an operation standpoint, there's a lot that require there's a lot of change that you need to do in order to support that. So how are
Yes.
you looking at this right now?
Currently, we're moving from high touch to low touch, because travelers are expecting changes in the way, like you are our target
Because
market.
I'm
You are
paranoid.
also expecting, di ba,
You're
in the way that hotels stage the guest experience.
Mhm.
So part of this is finding ways to integrate technology that will allow the minimum or zero physical contact with the guest. So we're also thinking of like 100% contactless transactions, like yung Samsung Pay or PayWave facilities. And we wanted to also install yung mga face scanners to access the rooms and the common areas. And also we would like to, actually this is existing already, like automated doors. And then, but this is to the extremes naman. We're also exploring, like, putting robot attendants.
Yeah, there's
So,
like a
or
hotel
ano pa lang yan.
in China.
We're just exploring. Yeah,
Okay.
exploring your robot
Yeah,
attendants. And then, since people are more cautious about yung health and safety, we are now installing like UV disinfectants and then virus detection via app. And then most of our or all of our staff are in PPE as their uniform. And then we require also COVID tests for all of our employees and health certificates also from all of our guests. And then right now we have in-house 24-hour medical team. And then we have expanded yung buffet to, or not really buffet, but the selection or the menu to a more natural and healthy food selection. And then with that, this comes with a commitment from the owners to invest on new technologies. But technology has to contribute to the solution and not provide yung
Yeah.
additional
Especially now that you're on
challenges
lean
to the hotel
operation.
staff, diba?
Yes.
Baka it's too complicated, it's so difficult to implement. So dapat ano rin siya, idiot proof or yung madaling gamitin. And then in line with this, okay, you tech experts must be thorough, and then you have to be careful. We have to be careful on selecting the technology to be sourced out.
Yeah. To the point of like technology being seamless. I think the term is it's seamless. The tendency, because coming from like a legacy thinking, is like technology is complicated. I need this database, etc. At least for us, how we're trying to think about it right now, especially coming from the pressures of the recent pandemic, like we're trying to think of ways like build solutions wherein our customers don't have to necessarily think end to end what they need, rather delivering, okay, I need a low touch experience in the hospitality industry. How might we be able to deliver that? But again, these are certain things that we're trying to wrap our heads around, and most likely we'll need to like um, co-create with you guys in terms of leadership.
We
Co-create with you
should, we
guys in
should.
terms of like how can we enable that simplified solution, not necessarily that like super technical that you don't need everything and all, but that seamless solution that enables like industries like yours or probably some other industry.
And
We
probably
should
some
partner on that.
final thought on that. And from a technology angle, security of your customers has to take precedence. So whenever we think about what competence do we need now in the future, there's really a lot of shortage of security talent in the country, and that's I think where much of whatever industry it is. If you are to go through technology, then security is a prerequisite because you have to protect the information of your customers, who they are, their whereabouts, their information. So before we jump into Levy's sharing or answers to the questions, I think that's encompassing regardless of industry. So yeah, okay. Thanks to Kartik and Pam. We go straight to Levy for. I think we can go through the straight 1, 2, 3 questions
Yeah.
that you can share because you can go straight to where do you think a desirable state of your future organization is. Maybe you can just give us an intro of what you do and share that future state that you're looking at.
Thank you, guys. So FKC International Philippines belongs to multi-level marketing industry. So we have some things a little bit different with a traditional business. When we talk about the business model, I think there's one one thing is very unique. That is when we talk about customer relationship. This is the unique part when we compare with the multi-level marketing and the traditional business. So I often share this my opinion to my friends. So who is our sales force in this business? So actually, the sales force of multi-level marketing, they are our member. They are our member. They're also our customer. So actually, they have two roles in one. So when they purchase our product, they become our member, and they consume our product. They improve their healthy status. At the same times, as a company, we provide the trainings, recognitions to encourage them to leverage our platform to do their own business. So we use the word mouth marketing strategy to ask them to help us to promote our business. So I think this is the unique part. Yeah, that is a very different with the traditional business model. So when we talk about the relationship with the customers, we will talk about the customer service concept. But for multi-level marketing company, we also will consider about the training support and lead and manage that kind of concept. So the other side, I think value proposition, key partners, activities, there's no big difference. And this is my industry. And what is the industry hiding? Hiding. So for the future, since the digital era comes to us, how many years? More than 20 years. And the digital marketing and the social media platform is more and more popular and more critical for the development. I think the multi-level marketing is the same. It's also a business. It's also kind of business. He also should catch the chance to how to adjust the operational structure, operational strategy, marketing strategy, anything to catch up this kind of trends. So this is the new the direction of this industry. We cannot only focus on our traditional way to develop our business because that efficiency would lower than the expectation now. So we have to utilize the new technology. Now, this is the hiding. So when we talk about what is the desired state of my organization, yes, just like what I mentioned a while ago, the digital marketing, social media, and the AI technology, those things is very essential for our business. So if we can maximize the resource and the technology, will be a great help for our business. Just to give you an example, for example, if we use AI technology, so in other words, we talk about the machine learning or data analytical skills, and these kind of things. Since we have a lot of customers' data about their age, gender, location, occupation, we have so many. So if we can utilize this kind of data very well, so finally, from my perspective, yeah, as a general manager, marketing person, I'm willing this kind of thing can help me to create the visualized picture. Yeah, that is more VV, and that is more helpful to direct of forward, of straightforward to get the sense of the data. Yeah, where we should focus on, which team, what kind of product we should improve, or is there any new demand generated from our from the data? That is a great help. So this is the hiding and the desired state we are pursuing now. Thank you.
Yeah, Levi, I'd like to just quickly follow that up now. Because your business model is quite unique compared to the others. Wherein your sellers are actually your customers,
Yes.
right? So
Yes.
how do they feel? There's a question here. How different will my customers feel about you as a
Mm.
company? Is there a change on how they would feel about this? Because before it was really traditional, right? You hold events, you invite them over. Now you can no longer do that. Is there a required change from their point of view?
Yes. Actually, this question is very, how to say, for me, it's exciting to answer this question because everything's change will impact the market. For the our customers and our sales force, our members, they are willing to change because the technology changed the world already. Most of the time, our our way to develop the market is to depend on the activities. Most of the time, it's offline activities. Since one reason is a digital change the world, change the mindset. Another thing is actually more relevant to the current situation because of the pandemic. The offline activities got limit because of the situation. So our members and our sales force, they have a dream and a passion to improve their lifestyle and the life quality. But if we keep following the old way, that is so difficult for them to grow in. So one way, if we can implement the AI technology, visualize our business analytical data, that is will help them feel uh, exciting. This is the excellent company I want to follow. This company is more innovative than others. So that will give them how to say, bring the best company branding image to our members. Not only they feel exciting, we also feel exciting about the new change, but in the future.
All right. I like Levy's smile. It's very optimistic.
We really, really desire that kind of change coming soon.
All right. Okay, thanks. Anybody want to ask more questions from Levy, or do we move on?
We can move on.
Okay. Right. So the next question, important question, I think, is we go back to critique for this one. Okay. So what are the critical transformations needed for my organization to evolve into its desirable state, critique? Your thoughts?
Okay. Uh, the critical, as I think we heard from both our colleagues, Levi and Pan, that we see that technology is going to become more important for. It's not even the pharmaceutical industry also looking for more driven by technology and more data. What critical transformation I see our company should need is uh, again the business model of the current conventional pharmaceutical industry has become undergone quite a lot of change because the consumers' behavior has been. We observe that it is changing. Start from the way the doctors used to treat the patients before was different, where you go for a OPD, you go and meet directly face to face. Because of this new pandemic things, a lot of changes happened. The patients going to the hospitals have come down drastically, and we see that the doctors evolved and go for more of telemedicine. They were now more prefer to do online consultations, online prescriptions, and teleconsultations are becoming now way of life. So we see that this is going to stay, and these kind of technology advantages, even the doctors and patients will take on that. So as a pharmaceutical company, I want my company to also to adapt and change towards this technological customers preferences, and the channels has been changed. So that one area I see where we need to come in more and engage ourselves in how to augment our customers in terms of have a more seamless teleconsultations, teleprescriptions, and those areas where we partner in, so that we don't left out in this changing trend. Second area, what I we see here is I want the company to be more innovative in investments they want to bring in with a more emerging ecosystem in the startups, because we see, as you were talking, TJ, that your company is developing tracing applications, and a lot of things are happening at a startup ecosystem level. We, as a very traditional large company, we don't want wish I would wish our company should not miss out those emerging trends happening at the startup ecosystem level, especially in the hair area, because we see start from diagnosis, tracing the patients, data collected of the disease. So many things are happening at the ground level. So I want our company to invest or look for innovative lab or kind of investments towards to those kind of startups to tie up, and so that we take mileage of those new technologies, and or whether it's a disruptive or which will augment us to move our large company to forward. And I see the critical transformation required for us is also in terms of drug discoveries and complex manufacturing technology. We need to transform there, because the requirements of the whole world is changing right now in terms of looking for a faster drug discovery. So where again technology comes in, I'm sure you will appreciate that the industry has able to bring out a vaccine within 2 years time or 1.5 years time is quite amazing for us, because the usual time taken for it is nearly a 10 years time or 7 to 8 years. I think the last vaccine which came for Ebola or MERS is 4 years. So the time is bring coming down because of the technology. So by using more past data, whatever the clinical data we collected, we try to simulate that, and then try to find the drug uh, effectivity and safety through the technology. So that's why we could able to bring down the time, and we could able to bring the vaccine to the common people. So, as a generic company, we Sun Pharma, I also want our company to invest more in these kind of drug discoveries and bringing down the shortened time, so that we could able to be more competitive in the market. And obviously, manufacturing process is important. As you know, quality is important for a pharmaceutical company, because a generic company is been established based on its quality, which we are equivalent to the innovator. So we need to bring more process, more robustic process, and change in the manufacturing technologies in these complex generic manufacturing. So these are all the cardinals which I feel uh, as a holistically the company need to transform to meet the next, you know, a decade kind of a change which is coming in, which we see.
Yes, yeah, yeah. So for those in our audience, Karthik is part of Sun Pharmacy, as said, and it is the fourth largest, right? Fourth largest
Yeah, we are the fourth largest generic company in the world,
the
and
world,
the number
right?
one company in, yeah, yeah,
Okay, so though I
and
think
number
I
one
just have to
company in
follow.
India.
I'll have to follow up my question here, and maybe you and
Sure.
Levi specifically, because you are in a key roles, country head roles, right? What is your
True.
role in what you are saying? What is your, you're heading the Philippine market, but in
Yeah.
part of a company which is worldwide, right? So what do you think will be the Philippine head's role in affecting such a big organization? You and Levi as well. You first.
Okay. Uh, sure. TJ, as I was describing what I would expect from the company in terms of changes, I think my role would be also much higher side when it comes to in perspective of putting it across what is the Philippines requirements to the company. So as you know, each country is like a business unit, right? Each country will have a particular business model and portfolio we might be running. So based upon the current structure, like a Philippine is a more out of pocket market, or it is a more the disease profile is more of a lifestyle disease, or some countries would be more of malaria, or you very tropical kind of disease. So it depends upon the country, the business model and the portfolios and the product portfolios will change. So my role would be how I will incorporate the Philippines requirements and what is emerging in Philippines, where the government is going, where the health policies are going. Like example, the government is very much keen in improving health insurance coverage. Like they want to bring a 4-year plan, 5-year plan, how they want to take this country in terms of healthcare system. So these are all what I want to be actively listening, actively understanding, and would be putting it across to the global group and incorporate the transformation and infuse those transformation into the country. So my role would be very critical in bridging the need of the country and where the corporate is heading, and bring that correct mix and bring the best part from the company to the country. So that role is going to be my transformation role, and bring what I can bring it from India to Philippines is going to be my first role. How best can make contribution to the Philippine healthcare system. That's my
Yeah.
role here.
Yeah, interestingly enough, you mentioned the government agency in charge of healthcare is going through some challenges right now, but that's a topic for another podcast.
Sure.
So yeah, we go to Levy.
Yeah, I catch some of the keywords from Karthik sharing, like emergency, emerging, changing, and the leaders what should focus. So yeah, thank you for the sharing. I got some idea and how to form my answer. Actually, I am I am the bridging leader in my organization. In the FKC Internationals, I'm the bridging leader. And in the FKC Philippines here, I'm the leaders to guide to lead the team to moving forward. So this is give me the idea is I should understand what I'm going to do and what I want. So when I exactly understand the gap between the ideal state and the reality, so two things I can do. One, I will drop the picture very clearly to the headquarters. Just like before I shared to you guys or regarding about the AI technology and the business analytical things, this idea I have, the concept I have, but exactly what is the pillar, what is the column, I don't have the exactly idea yet. So since we learned the innovation course on the AMBA program, gave me some idea. So regarding, especially, I read some of the paper regarding about the business model innovation. So this is one thing. When I think the picture very clear, I can share with the headquarter, us headquarter to set up the programs because we are multinational company. So we don't want each of the country has one IT program. Yeah, we want the IT program is become one, and each of us we have a different access. And the second thing is regarding about the business model innovation. As a bridging leader here, I want to bring the new key partners on our platform. Now, our key partner, who are our key partners? For example, government. They are citing the rules and regulation, right? The social media and the traditional media, they help us. Also, they monitor the market. But another way around, actually, we can bring some of the SMEs, especially the startups, who produce the localized products that can match our standards. For example, we sell food supplement. If their product is related to the food supplement as well, so we can ask them become our partner. No need we produce our product here. That is a cost efficiency, and also we can border our product line. So we will provide more choices to our customers. It's good for them. And also good for company is we save the investment, we got more product line, right? And also good for the startups. They have a good quality, they have a very excellent professional engineer, but they don't have a channel. We have the channel. So I think this is a win-win-win situation. As a bridging leaders, I will describe the future picture to HQ to ask them to support. And also as a bridging leaders, I will do something what I can do, such as bring the more key partner on our platform. Now this is my role and this is what I'm going to do.
If I may, Tim, would you like to share as well on this question? What will be your role in your organization?
Uh, yeah. So like tying together when you look at like Pam's industry and then Levy and then Karthik, we kind of expected this in some sense. Like there's in the as we move along in the will more and more need to integrate some form of technology, not necessarily something that's complex, but something that enables these organizations. It just so happened that what's this? We didn't expect this kind of pandemic would happen and that everything will accelerate
Yes.
to that degree. So right now, in the context of the general business for us, like because we're very used to enterprise solutions. So these are the really complex solutions for the big organizations. It's not necessarily scalable for like the smaller organizations or people who would want to be very lean or fast. Although we say we have agile, it's still a process for us to transition to that. That's why one of the things that we're trying to think about is how do we actually make the things that we're doing accessible in a sense that not only in terms of the pricing, but more of how do we make it accessible wherein we can leverage the technologies and package it already into solutions that are understandable by the customer. For example, Levy wants a platform to engage uh, partners or their customers. So can we have those ready solutions already that we could integrate already? So we're trying to build those things. So it's still um, a challenge in a sense because we're a really big organization. So my role in the organization is at least I'm part of a regional organization. What we're trying to do is we're trying to look at our employee base. How exactly do we organize ourselves in terms of being able to support something that requires agility? So it's a very complex problem. So it's a question of okay, what kind of technologies do you want to position ourselves against? How do we like work properly with our sales and solutioning organizations wherein they actually understand the customer pains and gains that we need to solve and actually create the solutions that would serve those the value propositions that would serve those problems. So like the pain of hospitality industry is being able to shift into a low touch situation. So
Touch,
those kinds
touch
of
tools.
things. So I'm part of strategy and we're trying to look at the numbers in
You have
terms
to
of
be agile yourself,
holistic
right?
org.
You have to
Yeah.
be agile yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. So I won't say the idea that it's yeah, we're looking at it, we have ready solutions. It's still a challenge right now. And it takes a lot of like actually stopping. Um because when you're a big organization, you get used to okay, we just do this and that. We only serve big customers. But right now the construct has changed. We can't readily rely on our big accounts and clients anymore. We have to like look into okay,
You'll be challenged by cost, right?
yes, yes. How do
Yeah.
we actually serve the others? Like before, like we could just rest on our laurels. I'll just serve like the likes of PNG, the
Yeah,
likes of the
multinational.
sister company HP. But in the context of the pandemic, uh, like the big accounts would choose to not renew or like scale down the operations. Hence, for us to be able to solve our pipeline, we need to be able to support others also. So that's the construct for us and for me in terms of my role in
Very
team
good.
thinking.
Nice
Yeah.
thing. Nice.
Sure, Tim, you're very busy now.
Me, yeah. That's why sometimes when we have LT meetings, I go out because I
Yeah,
have.
You're having meetings
are you concerned for Tim or are you concerned for our grades?
Oo nga.
Oo nga.
No, I'm kidding.
Pam, would you like to share also what would be your role?
My role?
You're like 1 year there, di ba, sa Philinvest?
Yeah. Yeah. 1 year and uh, more than a year. So I'm in charge pala of the hotel project development, and my group is responsible for the end-to-end process of developing a project. That means we are involved from the conceptualization and sometimes na on the land acquisition, from conceptualization to delivering a project with given set of resources and constraints. Kasi syempre you have limited time and then you have limited budget as well. So we have to work within that limited time and budget. And then the process involves like 4 stages. And the transformation. So we can introduce like innovations in digital transformation and sustainability at the design stage. So yun yung role ko. And then currently, we are expecting a sudden shift of guests' behavior. Kasi and then that shift, we are translating into planning or into design. So that means right now people wanted like enhanced room sanitation, enhanced public area sanitation,
Robot.
got new hygiene equipment like sanitizers everywhere. And then it also includes ito yung lumabas sa survey. So this is the what the people wanted or yung amenities that they look forward to now. Now, hindi pa naman post-COVID, but when they stay in a hotel. So, food room service. And then they also want the daily room housekeeping. They wanted the hotel staff in PPE. And then the amenities, ito medyo nagulat kami. We were so surprised that people, because they don't want to go out of the hotel already, right? So they wanted like, it scored yung mini
Something
bar.
nice
They
exposure.
wanted the bar. And then also the gift shop inside the hotel.
Nobody buys from the gift shop, di ba?
Nobody buys from the gift shop.
Oh,
This,
Sayang yung
people buy.
opportunity.
that's why we're so surprised. This
Expensive.
came out of the survey.
Is
Even
it
the mini bar. Can you imagine the mini bar? Because they wanted to buy something and then just put everything in the mini bar. And then they don't want to go to the buffet. They want their food served
I
inside
think
their rooms.
Karthik has a comment
And
about the
then
minibar.
daily room housekeeping, as in every day they want it cleaned.
No,
we
I
were so
only had to ask Pam is I
Yeah?
just want to understand is it the cost has gone up? I mean, your charges is gone up, or are you how are you going to pass all this extra cost? Do you passing to the customers or
No,
your
we
the
couldn't.
hospital?
At the moment, we couldn't pass all of this. Because, like for example, instead of doing the buffet, we're doing it we're just bringing the food in their room. So there's no added cost there. And then the daily housekeeping, there's no added cost there also because it should be really cleaned every day. It's just an option of the guests if they don't want their room cleaned in a day. So I guess in here the only additional cost is the PPEs. But at the moment we're shouldering all of this.
Yeah, Kartik, the
That's
minibar,
the
prices of
only
the minibar
additional
is 200% margin. So,
100%.
So
No.
mini apps.
We
the
wish.
chips there, the chips,
We
oh,
wish.
I'll just go out and buy something and come.
and replace
I
it.
don't use
Well,
that.
Pam,
Yes.
So it's something.
I have some demand, but I don't know. I can represent how many peoples, right? So the pandemic gave us a lot of stress in terms of work, study, and life. So 2 months ago, actually 2 months ago, I really want to go to a hotel, just like Mr. Tim, what he did. But one
And
they have, he go to some resort, right? So
Yeah.
as a foreigner,
Escape.
I have what I can do is just searching online. I searching the good quality hotel, which I know. For example, the what do you call that?
Shangri-Las.
Shangri-La, something like that. My
It's
what
hard to
is
find.
my demand is I want to go there maybe for 2 to 3 days just for spend weekend, and I just enjoy the food there. I just enjoy the bed and the service there. I do nothing. I just empty my mind and just for relax. So recharging myself. But I found out each of their website mentioned there's so many protocol there. You should provide the list certification, that kind of document or something. So that is actually it's totally stopped me. Yeah, if they are there's everything is very clear and there, for example, have a one-stop service. So they said, for example, they said, no matter who you are, you just come. We will help you within 1 hour or 2 hours, finish 1, 2, 3, 4 requirement. So you can check in. So if that kind of thing very clear, maybe some of the person like me will willing to go to the hotel or resort. But as of now, there's so many question mark on my mind. So okay, finally I said,
Family question, high-end market mo.
yeah, I just stay at home. I stay at
My
my
high-end
Uh,
market. Okay, what's your
I
complaint
just
again?
No, no,
We
no.
will, we will
no
take care of that, Debbie.
yeah, because so many
no Pam.
requirements.
I'm just
Yes,
taking
please.
clue from Levi. Even I tried to book some hotel. Then I saw the room so much. As Levi said, there are so many restrictions.
Yeah,
You are
so
asking
many
so many
restrictions.
things, and kids are not allowed, and so many things are
Yeah,
there
and
that
Yeah,
I
every
yeah,
really
yeah.
don't
Actually,
there.
kids cannot cannot go out. I
not
think
yet,
so.
not yet.
Yeah,
So
not
how?
yet.
I mean,
I think it's for the
that's what.
protection also of our guests, most especially you,
Uh,
diba?
So in linking the concerns of Karthik and Levy, your high-end customers, especially your high-end
And my
products.
high-end customers.
So you should listen. But linking to the like my previous question on how the behavior has changed, like the method of engaging. Like I also noticed, like when I was looking for like places to stay, it's a little, especially if it's like in the a few months earlier, it's a little like hard to know what exactly do I need to get there. So perhaps you could consider that in probably if you'll integrate some form of platform or
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, we will, we
to
will.
simplify the check-in process. So, Levy who is stressed and wants just to relax and all can easily go to your
Are
resort.
they asking too
Fun.
much from you, Levy?
They,
Like the swab test?
according to the website, they're showing you, you should local people.
Sometimes it's
So
not even updated.
yeah, so for
Sorry,
me,
what?
I'm for you should the local citizen. So for me, actually, as a foreigner, as of now, I don't know I'm a local or not because I'm Marcardi. For example, that hotel is BGC. I don't know we are the same city or not. I consider as a local citizen or not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Also, you should provide some certificate.
Oh, okay. Okay. Ano, yeah. So I think I mentioned a while ago that we are also requiring certificates for our guests.
Hey,
I think
yeah.
that's a government policy.
Hey, Pam, may I ask why you cannot provide a test on spot?
It's a good
Yeah,
question.
it's a good
What?
question. Actually,
You do
maybe
a rapid test
that's a
when you
need.
come there. You
Yeah.
do a rapid test. Why you're asking you to do and come?
The place that I went to, because it's like it
They
caters
did? They
to
did,
target.
Tim?
Yeah, they require a test before you enter.
Oh
Like
yeah,
there's a
you will
separate
be
way.
required a test. But
No,
did
they
they do the
actually
test for you?
they did the test. I did the test
Are
when we got there. Yeah.
because maybe it's too expensive.
Observe the cost.
Well,
I think
if you're
that's
catering
a
to a
high end
certain
also
market,
the farm.
No,
You pass it to us.
yeah, Pam. For example,
Pass it on to you.
according I understand, yeah, your facility is a high end also, right? Chris, how do you
Crimson,
call that name?
Boracay
Crimson,
Crimson.
Crimson
Yeah,
Boracay.
Crimson. That is a very expensive hotel.
Yeah.
So you try to imagine when the person already make decision, drive a car, be there, or take a flight, be there. Do they want to consider about the rap test cost? No, I don't think so. There is not a lot.
Yeah, we'll take note of that. We'll take note
Yeah,
of
good input. Good input.
that.
That is a customer
Got it.
behavior.
Okay,
Yeah, I
so
really,
siguro, just
I
to
think
move us forward.
especially in our city hotels, because in Crimson Boracay, if you go there, I think the government really requires uh, testing before you go to
yeah,
Boracay.
yeah.
So,
So
but
how
maybe
about
in our city
NCR?
can consider that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how about the Luzon Island? How about the NCR? So when we check in the
Yeah.
hotel, you
Yeah.
just pass and you just let us like a one-stop service. And, okay, sir, you can check in
Pwede
now.
na
Yeah,
magbakasyon.
We'll take note of that, Levy. Because you know what? Off topic. We went to a birthday party.
Yes.
And then we did a swab test there, and then it took like just 10 minutes. 10 minutes. So I think we can, if you're requesting for us to shoulder the or the hotels to shoulder the swab test,
It's
I
not
think we
asking you to
can
shoulder.
do
It's
it
just saying
No,
make it
we are
available
not asking.
there
We are not
because
asking
people
to
available
shoulder.
there.
Do it
people are
there.
willing to
Yeah,
pay. It's
yeah,
just
they're willing
Oh,
to
the
pay.
marginal cost na, di ba? Pwede yan.
okay.
Maybe it's
We'll
not
take
price
note of
sensitive.
that.
Have you
Yeah, we
seen
are
that?
not
Sometimes the
consider.
cost of the swab is the cost of the room already.
Yeah, we are not consider about the shoulder by hotel. We just consider about provide
At
by
the
hotel.
one-stop shop, just
Yeah,
provide it there.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
becoming an
okay.
LT
We'll
meeting.
take note of that.
Becoming an,
We'll take
it's
note.
becoming an LT meeting na, so we
And,
have to go back to
one more,
topic.
one more thing I want to say. Actually,
Go
There,
ahead.
there's more.
not one more thing related to this one. This is a when we talk about the innovation, right? So this is also from your activities innovation,
Right.
right? Before you don't have this kind of activities,
New
Business model
activities.
behavior
Yeah,
change. The behavior change.
you're right. We'll take
Okay.
note of that, my high-end
Thank you,
customers.
Levy.
Don't worry. We'll
So
fix it.
the way we can end this podcast, no, the way we can end this podcast is probably answering the final question as our final word, and maybe add whatever we want. We'll go around the screen. I can start. So I'll just talk about my role first, and then answer the final question. So my role, I think, from what I have been going through, what we have been going through for the last 2 years, is to incorporate whatever we have learned. No? Because in the office, it's all IT talk. Here in school, it's tiring, but it's also refreshing because you get to learn a lot more, and something as maybe simple to us now. Remember when in our strategic innovation subject, we spoke about, I think it was the first meeting, about the business model canvas and how different approaches can be taken. I remember because we were vibering each other in the background. Is this the right way to look at it? Is it? It's not. It's not that. But in the effectual thinking is what's important for us now, because for a company who is local and the resources are limited, you have to work with what you have and see where we can go with it. That's very important for us. We're not really configured to work on a infrastructure as a service yet. The culture is not there. Everybody is so used to selling big projects and getting the commissions after. It's really a change of mindset. And for us to survive in the future, that mindset has to be starting with the leadership. So for it to go to be, if it's seen in the leadership level, then people will hopefully follow. Right. So I think that's my role in sharing these thoughts in the approaches in the in our business model. Work with what we have, see where we can use it. So it's like learning. Critical skill and capability now is, we go back to term one, learning how to learn. Right? So we need to learn quickly, choose quickly what is important, and don't waste time on what may not be relevant anymore. So I need to adapt this in first into myself and to my team, and then to the next team, and hopefully to the rest of the company. So that's how I think transformation will start. So capabilities, we have a lot to learn. Finance, human resource, um, getting the right talent, identifying the right talent, identifying the right people, and helping those who are in the company. So those are the things that we need to learn. I think I think for my final thought here is, remember in 9/11, everything changed in the travel industry. It's very strict. Before 9/11, it was not. And then a few months after, everything went back to normal. There's no big event, but the travel industry is the same, right? You still get long lines because you have. So it does not. The particular event of the COVID-19 will forever change how we work, and we have to accept that it will not be 100%. The travel industry after 9/11 never went back to what it was, right? It never went back to what it was. We still have queues, we get searched, and that's how I think we move forward here. We have to make sure, accept that there will be changes. It will never be how it was, but we have to adapt to this, to work together, to get everybody going, get the economy going, get people to be confident again to go outside, to interact with each other, to be people, right? So this is all fun, but I think it's very different, no, the online experience, and also how to make the online experience more enjoyable, or more people friendly. Those are the things that we need to learn how to do. Yeah, yeah. So that's my take.
I'll follow that because it's interesting. I'm also in technology, so big MNC, and it's interesting how PG, and I have similar themes in terms of what we need to tackle. So at its core, I mentioned already, it's a sort of rapid mindset change, especially now in the context of how of enabling the industries that we support right now. So challenging our current notions of what are the clients that we serve, what in what way do we serve them, and then linking that to my role, um, like positioning the analytics and the strategy of the organization in terms of actually being able to see that and making the right decisions for it. So it's a monumental task, but we need to do it really, really fast because we're also we need to although we're the less hit industry, our top line is also shrinking because of businesses would prioritize other things. So it's a question of how do we make ourselves still relevant, especially that the world is rapidly changing. So like PAM's robotics or like the less touch thing or Levy's platform. So that's my take. So it's more of how do we better position technology that it's more accessible, not in the context of like the typical technology that innovation is very complicated. Not really. It's more of access to it. So innovation can be really simple, and technology can be simple also. It's just the um, what's this? The misconception that technology has to be complicated. It can be fast, it can be rapid, but it's more of for
Yeah,
us. How do we align to that one?
I have a question.
Mm.
Because right now technology, parang there's a mindset that yung technology is so expensive. So do
Yeah,
you also have an parang an innovation on how to make it cheaper also and
so
available?
that's part of what we're answering because for us, like our starting base is like we also serve big MNCs, so enterprise services. So our cost or pricing structure is very very non-accessible for medium to small enterprises. And again, it's a question of how do we make it accessible? Like, for example, one of our partners is SAP. Obviously, that's only accessible to really, really big
Yeah.
corporations because that's really expensive. But of course, we still have the capability to be able to like develop a more lean solution because not everyone will need all of the capabilities of that ERP system, right? So it can be accessible. It's just that like coming from the old notion of the high tech, um, it was just
High
in a
tech
certain
equals
sense, for the
expensive.
lack of a better term, many of the solutions are over bloated and overcomplicated. But in reality, if you like actually just consider what is needed by the different organizations, parts of it like we can deliver. Like the current app construct. Okay, I need to do this. Perhaps I can enable that. So there are quick solutions to it. But for us, it's more of a challenge of changing the mindset of the organization and the leadership also to be able to re-steer to that rather than just sticking with what we currently have. Because if we just stick to what we have, eventually we'll have a very, very uh, shrunken pipeline that we can't sustain the business. So we have to really think about that, right?
Good thing at least you're thinking about it.
Okay, maybe before my brother and sister sharing, I want to share something.
Brother na kayo.
Yeah, for
Level up.
me, the AMBA program helped me a lot to open my mind, and I feel I improve my skill a lot. So I can combine each of the knowledge together, can help me to manage my works. So one thing is for leadership, as of our friends you already mentioned, the leadership is very important. And the other thing is about the innovation concept. So the two things, what is the two things, what is the similar things regarding about the innovation and the leadership? There's one point, the key point I found out. That is the way how you think. And that is very important and give me a big impact. So when you talk about the leadership, we talk about the consenting, ownership, co-creation. So how can you think about the problem and how can you think about the situation? When we talk about the innovation, it's also how can you talk about the means and ends? How can you talk about the different way to check the situation so you can got new idea. So this is the key thing, what I learned from the Rose course. Yeah, thank you very much.
Maybe I'll do next. So I'll share. So again, for me, with all of this, I think the key talaga is flexibility. Kasi no one really knows when will this pandemic be over. And the only way to survive economically is to adapt to the new normal as fast as we can. Like technology, diba? So we also need to adapt as fast as we can. So in AIM naman kasi we are now good thing we went to AIM kasi we are now equipped with various frameworks, diba? To assess the current condition and how to how to move forward. So I think that's the best thing I have right now. So at least I can hindi I can assess everything and then hopefully I can give
Yeah.
um
Involve the community. Lead.
involve my stakeholders in every
Make them
decision
all.
I make, diba?
Yes, very
It's a
important.
sound decision. So yun. So I think that's it. Kartik,
Yep.
save the best for last.
Mhm.
All right. I think it's quite enriching session. So a lot of views we could able to hear. According to me, what I see in this innovation in terms of business model, uh, actually there is no, according to me, there is no perfect business model anybody could able to bring it out. So it's all about the different companies, how they will manage the different strengths in terms of resources and key activities, and how you're going to place, especially during the what is the timing. The most important thing what I see learning is uh, the best ideas can go for toss if you launch it in a very wrong time, or there is a very mediocre idea can do a fantastic job if you execute very well. So the idea is not getting the right model. It's all about how you play in that particular time is going to decide the fate of the strategy itself. Uh, what I see personally, we came into the Philippines quite late. We were very late, and we were entered the Philippines quite late. So when I came here, my initial 4 5 years, I was pretty challenged because of the competition was pretty high, and they made it very high inroad in business. We are really learning, catching up, and finding out what is the best model works in Philippines. So it was a very tough job for me to really to advise the company what we should do in Philippines based on what's happening around. So if you ask me today, if you go back to the pandemic has actually reset the whole business ideas. What I mean to say,
Yeah.
it put everybody together in the line. So I was actually feeling better. Oh, okay. So I didn't miss it more. Now everybody's in the same line. Now everybody want to innovate something new. So I felt, okay, now this is my time. So I can do better than them. What I lost the 10 years, now I will get it now. So they are all in the same line. So customer relationship, customer access, channels, everything was distorted. Then it put everybody to the same line, the same starting line. So I found that is a fantastic opportunity for me. I see a fantastic for me that if I do be more flexible and more innovative or try to bring what I want to do, so I have a chance to run equally with them, and I can be a better chances for me. So that's my learning that uh, timing is important in a business model to be successful, a company to be successful, and how you capitalize that makes everybody uh, a better winner. So the mix can be different, value propositions can be different, but how you place it and when you will place it is going to be very key for a successful company. So it was a fantastic learning, and I think every business leader needs multiple skill sets now. So you cannot survive just one skill set today. That is not the era. The expectation of the companies are very different. So we need to be multifaceted. We need to know multiple things, and we need to work multiple things. And as rightly Pam said, we cannot really what will happen when this pandemic will end. We don't know, but we need to keep our minds open and very agile and accept what's happening and pretty fast in thinking and place it properly so that we can take the company in a better side. I don't say that uh, everything will be good or great. No, we only want to say that uh, we should be fine, safe, and we should be navigating this uncertain time in a better way, right? And because I have an additional responsibility, I have people believing me here, and being a captain of the ship, the responsibility along with strategy and business model and other things. I have a people responsibility. We are always liable for the families whom we trust. We need to work together as a family, and we need to make it better. And I think that's my final view on it. Thanks, guys, for organizing this.
All right, Kartik, thank you. I like the thought that you're using the pandemic as the equalizer. I like. All right, I think that's all the time we have for tonight. Thank you guys. Thank you, Tim, Debbie, Pam, Kartik. Shout out to Zar, of course.
Sorry, we miss you.
Yes.
Yeah,
See you again. And to
she's
your
still in office.
I think she's doing something for big something big for tomorrow. And I
Hmm.
think for public service, so we'll need that eventually, right? In her job. So we'll
She's
like to
she's going to help us. Good.
yeah. We thank our viewers for spending this time. It's an hour and 40 minutes. But we'll try to trim this down for a more manageable time. And we thank our professor for giving us this opportunity to do this. We've been 2 years in AIM.
Yeah.
And this is the first time we did something that is digital. And it's
Lots of
fun.
difficulties first.
I think it turned out well. Nobody got into a fight. We're still friends. Okay
Good
naman.
Of course, of course. I think
Because it's recorded.
Yeah, when stop
Actually,
recording, we can go back to
yeah,
normal.
this assignment is innovation among the LT6. This is our first time to submit our assignment in this format.
Yeah, thank you.
Sure.
And
no,
Professor,
I think
thank you.
yeah.
Okay, so
I think thanks guys. I think very well job done, and thanks Tim and TJ for a fantastic coordination and bringing us what you would really all want to listen. And I think very nice.
I hope it helps those who spend time to watch this. So write down in the comments uh, and subscribe to our channel.
So
Also.
click subscribe. We could say
And
that
click the
now.
notification
Our
button.
channel.
All right, we're back.
Here, subscribe here.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Take care of all of you.
Hey guys.